Hi everyone, so after talking about the Native American quilts and blankets, we're going to make our own, but instead of quilting them and making them with fabric and yarn, we're going to be making them with paper. You'll notice too that we're working pretty large for this project, so if you need to stand up and work with this piece of paper, you can while you paint. First thing I want you to do using pencil, write your name and then flip your paper over. I have the skinny edge facing up, so my paper is vertical. For this project, we're going to be using our tempera cakes, and these are just like watercolor. If I touch them right now, they're not wet, so they're not getting any paint on me. We need to use the water to activate them or wake them up. You can use any colors you want for this, so I'm going to start with red. I'm going to get this tempera cake wet, and then what I'm going to do near the top of my page, and I'm going to work from the top down, is I'm going to draw or paint a horizontal line going from the left side to the right side. I'm going to try to make this as straight as I possibly can. If you want to make it a little bit thicker, you can. If you want to make it thinner, you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Use your artistic judgment. And then I'm just going to fill in that whole area from my line to the top of the paper. If you need more paint, load it up with more water and continue to paint. You'll notice if you run out of paint on your paintbrush, your paint sounds a little scratchy and it even looks a little scratchy. So that's when your paintbrush is saying, hey, I need more water, I need more paint, I'm thirsty. So just grab some more paint, more water, and then fill in the whole area with that bright, bold, beautiful color. And you can notice too, I'm doing long brush strokes to really fill in that area, and I have a good hair day with my paintbrush. You're gonna switch colors, so clean out your brush and then switch to a new color. If you start to notice your tempera cakes are getting a little bit messy, what you could do is load up with water, take a paper towel, and wipe it up. It'll get all of that extra color out of there. Then what you're going to do is paint the same type of line, but think about a different thickness. Go thinner or thicker than this one. So I think I'm going to go thinner. And I'm going to do the same thing, long brush strokes, painting them in. You might see your colors blend a little bit together, but that's okay. It's just because they're not dry yet. Same thing, new color, different thickness. So once you get to the middle, I want you to stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat my pattern, but I'm going to repeat it backwards. So I'm going to do green next, then purple, then yellow, then red. So what's on this side will match and mirror what's on this side. I'll fast forward through this part so you can see what it looks like when it's done. Perfect. So you can see on here I have blue, then I have symmetrical greens, symmetrical purples, symmetrical yellows, and symmetrical reds. Now I see there's a few light spots in my painting, so as a last and final step, I'm going to go in and just make some of my areas darker. So I think this blue needs to be darker, I think the red up here needs to be a little bit darker, and I think this purple definitely needs to be darker. So go in and touch up those spots that need just a little bit more paint. Alright, I think I got all my spots as bright as I want them to be. I'm going to pick it up like a pizza and put it into the drying rack. Hi guys, so now that our paintings are dry, what we're going to do is we're going to use this Native American symbol drawing guide to add these symbols into our paintings. Just like we do today, the Native Americans used to use symbols to represent different things. So if you look just at this top row, the moon represents the moon. Morning, noon, evening, lightning, rainbow, teepee, blossom, rain, campfire, hunt, happy, spring, fast, deer, bird tracks, man, woman, river, summer, sun, sad, camp, horse tracks, mountain, friendship, good luck, good crops, war, and bear. For each of the symbols, you're going to pick one and you're going to put it inside of each color. What you do on the red on the top, you're also going to do on the red at the bottom. Same with yellow, whatever colors you use. So what you do up here, you're also going to do down here. So I'm going to start at the top, And for this, we're using Sharpie, and we're gonna draw right on top of our paint. So take your time with this because we can't erase the Sharpie. So you're gonna pick one symbol and you're gonna put it somewhere along the line. And you can also do multiples of a symbol. So I think for this first one, I'm gonna start with morning because morning is in the morning. So I'm gonna draw and copy the symbol. And it looks like this. And then I'm gonna add some details. If you also want to thicken up your lines and fill them in, you can. So I'm gonna thicken this up first. And then I'm gonna add my detail lines across. And then because I have noon and evening, I'm also gonna put those in the same panel. So I already know what I'm gonna do in my red, so I'll eventually do that at the bottom too. Next, I'm gonna move to my next color, which is yellow. I'm gonna pick a new symbol and a new design element in between. You can also change up how many. So I did 3 in this one, so I think in this one, maybe I'll just do 2. So I think I'm gonna do blossom, and I'm gonna do it here and here. And then I'm gonna do some type of detail lines in between. Remember, what you do here on this top color, you're also gonna do and mirror it on the bottom color. Move to your next color. Perfect, so since my blue is in my middle, this is where I'm gonna start to mirror. So what I did for my symbols in green, I'm also gonna do in my green down here. So I'm gonna do my good luck symbol here, and I'm just gonna copy what I already did. Perfect, so my full piece is done. You can see how I have the symmetry going from all of the different colors in all the different panels. Now's the time to go in and check and double check to make sure there's no spots you want to make a little bit darker or any lines you want to add. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use our liquid glue to glue our painting and drawing to this brown sheet of paper. So to use this glue, we want to make sure that we don't tip it, and you'll have a special paintbrush with you that you can use to do that. So flip yours over. You're going to take some glue, and you're going to paint on the glue to the 4 corners. Notice how I'm not really getting the glue anywhere else, and I'm also not getting the glue on my hands or my fingers. It's only staying right on the paintbrush. Once it's in the 4 corners, I'd like you to paint an X going all the way across your paper. And then you're going to paint a square following the edges of your paper. So you got the 4 corners done, an X, and then a square. Then put your paintbrush away, you can close up your glue, and then very carefully you're going to take your blanket, flip it over, and you're going to line it up so it's in the middle of your brown paper. So I'm really looking at all those 4 corners, and then I'm going to press it down. Another trick with this too is then flip your brown paper over and press from the back. Since we covered up our name with the brown paper, it's really important that you rewrite your name. And then flip it back over and you have your border. Then on your border, you're gonna glue your fringes and frills. So before we glue them on, I'd like you to cut them. So to create that frill effect like an actual blanket, you're gonna cut one side of your black paper, but you're not gonna cut all the way through. So I'm gonna hold with my helper hand with my left hand, and I'm gonna cut with my right hand. You're gonna cut along the long edge. And like I said, you're not cutting all the way through, only about halfway through. You're just gonna do a snip. These are gonna look like fringe or like tassels, so you can do as many or as little snips as you want. And you're gonna go all the way down your paper. It should kind of look like eyelashes, so we'll make it look like that. Do it on your second piece. Second set. Now we have to glue these on. One is going at the top, fringe facing up. The other is going at the bottom, fringe facing down. So to glue these on, You're going to take your paintbrush, a little bit of glue, and you're doing a line on the brown paper right in between where your blanket stops. Then you're going to stick your black paper right on that line. Fringe side goes up, so you're gluing the flat side. So I'm going to stick it, and I'm kind of shimmying it underneath a little bit, pressing the glue down. And then I'm just going to kind of pull up some of my fringe to make it look like it's at different heights. What you did at the top, you're also going to do at the bottom, but your fringe is going to be facing down on this one. So grab your glue, one line on the brown. As an extra bonus step, if you would like, you can add a few details using our metallic Sharpie to the bottom black part, and if you want to add anything into your rug as well, you can. So I'm going to just do that right now, but I'll let it fast forward while I do that. Perfect, so that is my completed piece. Because it is still a little bit wet, let's put them in the drying rack to dry.